Howdy doody! Spiders back from the Grey Cup, the 107th Grey Cup in Calgary, where I witnessed it with my son. That's a memory within itself, okay? So, here I am, Spiders back for number 40. There were some highlights, but there was one really big highlight I'm going to tell you about soon and surprise you. But I just want to say, go back to my last session where I was talking about the semi-final, and you know, there was a lot of people coming down hard on Bo Levi Mitchell, and you know, and he even admitted that he played, you know, not his best game. He actually admitted he played his worst game ever in the CFL, and I think he literally said he sucked, I believe. I meant to repeated that I believe I did last session, but I didn't mean it in a derogatory way. Mr. Bo Levi Mitchell, I have a lot of respect for you. And there was a lot of people really down on you, especially Stampeder fans and so forth. It's hard to get in your own Grey Cup. And there was a lot of pressure. Bo Levi Mitchell only played half the year, and it wasn't all his fault, even though, like he said, it was the worst game he played. And indeed, he did. I believe he said he sucked, and I think I said that too. But Bo Levi Mitchell doesn't suck, okay? Look at his record. He's like his percentages in 2 Grey Cups, and his completions and his wins. Unbelievable amount of wins, okay? And how he manages the game, and when he's on his game, and when he was earlier, it just seemed to fall off a bit at the end there. And he never played in temperatures like that. But there's no excuses, like he would say as well. But in my estimation, in my evaluation of Bo Levi Mitchell, he's the best CFL quarterback in the CFL. And a lot of people have different opinions, but I think he is, based on his accomplishments. And he's a good person too. My son has been a Stampeder season ticket holder for, I think, almost 12 years now, over 10 years since he went out to Calgary. And he really likes Bo Levi Mitchell too. So we're big fans of yours, Bo Levi. So Stampeders, the white horse, okay, keep riding. Okay, keep riding. And I wouldn't be surprised if Bo Levi Mitchell shines next year and the Stampeders and they win the Grey Cup game in Saskatchewan. I think I'm going to be going to that. I'm going to talk to my son about that. But anyway, I just want to check things I wanted to, okay, I wanted to say that. I want to congratulate the Bombers, and as I put up the logos there, the Hamilton Tiger Cats and the Bombers in the 107th Grey Cup in Calgary. I want to congratulate them for their victory. I have, you know, it's like I said, last session, I had a soft spot for the Bombers. 29 years, I mean, about a drought, and 20 years for the Tiger Cats, but the Bomber fan that hasn't been wearing pants, wearing shorts for 29 years, he put them on at the Grey Cup. It's unbelievable. But I'm very happy for Bomber fans, and I met some Bomber fans that were really, really nice. I'll tell you about that a little later. And, you know, everybody was beating up on Andrew Harris, somewhat CFL fans across the country. And, you know, Randy Ambrosie, a lot of them he voted for most valuable player, but he didn't get a vote. He must have got some votes, but he didn't get enough to be nominated or win, of course. But he won both awards, and I don't think any Canadian player has ever won most valuable player and the top Canadian in a Grey Cup. But Jefferson could have won most valuable player too. He had 3 sacks. He was unbelievable. But so, you know, I wish Andrew Harris wouldn't have said what he did, because he's out for the media, I guess, more so than CFL fans. Maybe it was directed toward them as well, but more so, I think, towards the media when he called them effing haters or whatever, and they beeped that out. But he shouldn't have said that. I mean, he should have been a little more humble with that, but I guess he was that pissed off. But Mr. Harris, Mr. Andrew Harris, okay, I mean, I'm happy for you and the Bombers, and for the whole organization, for the CFL Bomber fans, the big supporters of the Bombers for many, many years, faithful Bomber fans. But I don't think that's time and place to say that. You got caught, okay? You got caught, and a lot of people said you got caught cheating. So I'm just saying what they're saying. And so you got to be a little more humble than that. I mean, so those are the rules, okay? So anyway, I don't want to talk a lot about that. I want to get on with my session. And I want even Andrew Harris to have some glory, because look what he achieved in the Grey Cup game. Give him credit for that. And let's forget about the past for now, and hopefully he'll learn from that, okay? But I'm very happy for the Winnipeg Blue Bomber fans out there. Quite a victory, and what a dominating defensive display. It was unbelievable, and defense like that will definitely beat offense every time in the big game, in the Grey Cup game. So congratulations, Bomber fans and the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, for the 107th Grey Cup champion. And I'm sure you'll be looking forward to those rings, championship that, okay, you're the 107th Grey Cup champs, okay? Okay, on with my session. Okay, I'm going to get right into it now. I had something really happen big at the Grey Cup for me, bigger than I think, which I couldn't believe was the biggest halftime show I ever saw in my life in the Grey Cup game. Biggest one, Keith Urban. But I had a bigger highlight, and I had the privilege to meeting Mr. Bo Levi Mitchell, okay, which I'm about to tell you about right now. And I gave him my SPYDER CFL Red Zone Rule brochure. I had some brochures that I had made up. They were quite expensive, as you can see. Very colorful here on the inside, okay, with Steve Armitage and myself and my SPYDER CFL Red Zone Rule hats, where he stamped to prove my CFL Red Zone Rule, and my field diagram in the back, the presentation itself that I made to the Commission of the CFL 2018. By the way, this brochure I took off my Facebook page, so you can find everything on my Facebook page on my SPYDER CFL Red Zone Rule brochure. Okay, but right now for Bo Levi Mitchell, okay, this is going to be a special edition for Bo Levi Mitchell, because I'm going to tell you what happened. Well, my biggest highlight, I'm at the 107th Grey Cup, when I had an opportunity to meet Bo Levi Mitchell, and I'm going to tell you about it in one sec after I play you something, okay, right here that I want you to listen to. Okay, I hope it plays, that you can hear it well enough. When I got back from the Grey Cup, 100th Grey Cup in Calgary, here it is. Here we go. Please work.
I hope we got online. It's a Spider. Good morning, Spider.
Red Zone Rule.
Yes, hello. Good morning. Do you hear it? I can hear it. Yeah, enough already. What are you calling for?
Did you get my brochure?
I'm looking at this and I have no idea what this is. You're talking about a red zone rule. Spider's CFL red zone rule, and what is that exactly?
I presented that to the CFL in 2018, the Randy Ambrosi and the CFL, a full 1 hour full presentation. I called you one time and launched it on your radio show. I don't know if you remember. I met you at the Italian market, remember? I introduced myself.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah. But anyway, so Steve Armitage has given it a stamp approval. I was at the Grey Cup wearing my SPYDER CFL Red Zone Rule hats and got a lot of attention. They took photographs, CFL fans and Bomber fans took photographs of my hat. They were blown away by it. I gave out brochures, the one I gave you.
But Spider, what is it? What is the red zone rule? What do you mean by this?
Well, I'll tell you, I'll just brief it for you. And guess the big guy who I got my CFL Red Zone Rule to with my brochure at the Grey Cup. You're not going to believe who.
Who?
Bo Levi Mitchell. And he's blown away by it. You see the 18% guaranteed percent? What it is, basically the rules there. Okay?
Listen, Spider, do me a favor. I got a break here for a news update, so you hang on.
Yeah.
I'll get you right after the news, and I hope you'll tell us when we come back, what is your red zone rule? We've got Bruce on hold, Patrick and Pat as well. We'll get to you too, and we've got lines open as well here this morning at 902-405-6000 or 1-877-801-8255. We're back with more of your calls after the news update, and that is coming up next. It's 11:33 here on this Tuesday morning. We've got an open hour going till noon time. Anything goes between now and noon, and all you have to do is give us a call at 902-405-6000 or 1-877-801-8255, just like Bruce has done here this morning. Hi, Bruce. Hello? Oh, Bruce, hang on. I got to go to, I forgot Spider was there. Yeah, I'm going to put you back on hold, Bruce. Hold on a second there. Sorry about that. Spider, are you there?
Yes, sir.
I
Mr. Val.
almost forgot about you. Almost forgot about you.
Thank you for getting me back on.
Well, tell me, what is Red Spider? Before we go on, I need to know what is the red zone rule.
Okay. All right, and I will give it to you in that nutshell, but I just want to make one quick note on here. The caretaker, the owner of the Hamilton Tiger Cats, you imagine this. I met him at the Wanderers grounds. I told him about my CFL red zone rule. I sent him my full presentation. He got back to me, and they invited me. They were so impressed with it, they invited me as a special guest in his caretaker special suite in Hamilton at a Tiger game. Can you imagine that?
Yeah, no good. But what is the rule now?
The red zone rule in a nutshell. Listen up. It's really simple. The rule is there now, but it's an enforcement rule. So my Spider CFL red zone rule is an enforcement rule. So every time a CFL team gets on the 20, okay, or inside the red zone, and they need their third down to score a touchdown, rather than see another boring two-down football stop in the red zone resulting in another, predictable, non-eventful, easy chip shot field goal, they will play exciting CFL three-down football, okay, on the third down if needed to score a touchdown.
So they will get that third down as long as they're within the red zone, basically. They won't be required to kick it away.
Well, what's interesting about that, the enforcement rule is there now. They can do it now. The only time they do it is on the 1 yard line. They don't do it in the 5, the 4, the 3, or 2.
So will this rule force them in the red zone to do a third down?
Yes, it's an enforcement rule. So if they maintain possession of the ball, okay, in the red zone, and they don't score a touchdown if they need the third down, to score a touchdown in the red zone, okay, and they'll get forced outside the red zone, okay, on third down, they get my Spider CFL red zone kick, which will be kicked from the 35. So when you add the 7, that's a 42, which adds even more drama. But defensively, too, not only offensively, the excitement around my CFL red zone rule, if a defensive team stops them on the third down, okay, playing exciting three-down football in the red zone, they prevent a touchdown. But if they force them outside the red zone, they don't get to kick my CFL red zone kick.
Sounds
that's
complicated.
And just one other thing I want to add to that, Bo Levi Mitchell was blown away at 18%. Okay, in 2018, the average percentage of touchdowns scored in the red zone amongst 9 CFL teams was 54.8%. Okay, with my Spider CFL red zone rule, it will guarantee an increase of 18%. That would take it from 54.8 to 65%, which would mean 50 more touchdowns for a total of 200 more points.
Wow, I mean, you've done a lot of work in this, Spider, but I guess my question before I let you go is...
1.5 years. 1.5 years.
And good for you, but is the CFL going to buy into this, I guess, is my
They want
question.
to revisit it, and I want to get them. They got a new CFL invitation, okay, committee. An innovation committee, and they want to try an exciting my CFL red zone rule, I hope, in a preseason game. I have to communicate with them on that. I'm getting it. I'm going to get it to, well, the owners, sorry, not the owners, but the GMs and the coaches already know about it because it was presented to them, okay, by the CFL. So there's progress. So if they revisit it, you'll see it in a preseason game. Can you imagine?
We'll watch to see what the CFL...
Isn't that diagram unbelievable?
Yeah, but I tell you again, it's a pretty impressive brochure, but, let's see what the CFL does with this, Spider, and appreciate the update. Thank you very much. 11:37 is the time right now. I think let's go back to Bruce now.
There we go, here we go. Wasn't that something that I was able to get? That's the last day today that I could get that. I taped it on my tape machine, but this was a better quality, so I hope you heard that. Okay, isn't that great? So anyway, so now I want to talk about my biggest highlight, okay, at the Grey Cup. And one was Keith Urban and the Bombers, of course, winning the Grey Cup. I was very happy for them after 29 years. And for all the Bomber fans over there, my God, it was a sea of blue. Not like it normally is with Saskatchewan Roughriders to see a green at the Grey Cup if they're in the Grey Cup, no matter where the Grey Cup is. I mean, I've been there, 2009, and 13th Man Grey Cup, so I know. But it was like a sea of blue. I mean, there were Hamilton Tiger Cat fans there too, but they were outnumbered by the Blue Bomber fans. But what happened was my son and I were down at the festivities down outside outside the BMO Center, and you know where they had the kids the winter slide with the tube. Bo Levi Mitchell was walking along with his stroller with his young girl and his kid, and I just approached him and said my son was Stampeders season tickets for 10 years, and and or now 12 years, and he looked up at my hat, and he said, "Wow, what's that? I'm interested in that. The Red Zone, Spider CFL Red Zone rule." And so I took out a brochure. My son was carrying some brochures I had in his knapsack, and he'd taken one out, and I went over the whole thing with Bo Levi Mitchell. Okay, the whole thing. Covered it, okay, went, through it, showed him the diagram, told him about Steve Armitage, who stamp approved it, who was a legend, an icon, and showed him with my son with his Bo Levi Mitchell sweater on at the Stampeder game with my CFL Red Zone Rule hat. That was the one before this Spider CFL Red Zone was Spider's proposed CFL Red Zone Rule hat, and showed him where my son took a picture in the red zone, told him about my song. I wrote about Spider, Spider, here comes Spider CFL Red Zone Rule song. And when we flipped it over here, and it showed him the banner, okay, the pitch on the banner, okay, and what it will do in a nutshell, if wisely adopted by the CFL, and then showed him the diagram, my Spider CFL Red Zone Rule diagram with the 20-yard line outlined in red, and then I told him that my full presentation was up on Facebook page, and he noticed, he's so intelligent, he noticed that 18% guarantee. Imagine that, an increase of touchdowns scored in the red zone amongst 9 CFL teams if my CFL Red Zone Rule was adopted. And he's a bright guy. He caught on this really quick, and he was blown away by that 18%. So I just wanted to clarify, when I was on the radio a bit to Mr. Bo Levi Mitchell and the listeners out there, CFL fans, and everybody out there tuning in to Spider CFL Red Zone Rule, okay? It's a special edition for Bo Levi Mitchell this time. Well, I just want to talk to you about my CFL Red Zone Rule, Bo, and what you heard when I was talking on the Rick Howe show, okay? So it's an enforcement rule. The rule is already there. My Spider CFL Red Zone Rule is already there. But like I said on the radio show with Rick Howe, when a CFL team's on the 20 or inside the 20 in the red zone, if they need the third down to score a touchdown in the red zone, they'll be playing exciting CFL 3-down football to score a touchdown. And if they're stopped on third down and maintain possession of the ball and aren't forced outside the red zone, okay, on third down, they get the kick, Spider CFL Red Zone Rule kick from the 35. You add the 7, it's 42, which add a lot more drama, and it's a lot more challenging kick. But anyway, I came up with that because it's an enforcement rule that's already there, so you need to get rewarded. If you're marching downfield in the size of a CFL field, 110 yards, and basically playing 2-down football to get first down, to get in the red zone, you need to get rewarded. If you're stopped using my Spider CFL Red Zone Rule, enforcement rule in the red zone, and you maintain possession of the ball and aren't forced outside the red zone, you get to kick my Spider CFL Red Zone Rule kick. Okay, so that's in a nutshell, that's how simple my rule is. But I'll give you some of my 10 super features and benefits that's on that I note here, that's on my Facebook page, that it's a must read. They're powerful, they're compelling. Features and advantages of my CFL Red Zone Rule, and like the banner here, Mr. Bo Levi Mitchell, that my son had made up, took out for the Grey Cup, and couldn't. I was going to read it to Mr. Bo Levi Mitchell, but he said he could see that, he could read that, and I said I had a banner, but we haven't been able to take it out yet. And by the way, the Grey Cup, we never would have got it out. It was like sardines. We never could have got it out. It would have been impossible. But this is it, and this is what my banner looks like. I don't know if you can see it. Okay, I'm just going to put it up here. It's pretty impressive. Probably won't be able to see it. It's really hard to see. There's the top of it. There's the bottom of it. It's big, isn't it? It's 4x4. But anyway, what's amazing about it is that, like I was going to read to Bo Levi Mitchell, okay? Okay, and he said, Spider, I can read. So he had to go with his kid, and he was just a real nice guy. He was a real gentleman, okay? So there it is. What that banner says is Spider CFL Red Zone Rule complemented by the new compatible CFL Red Zone kick, okay? That's So that's an attachment to my Spider CFL Red Zone rule. So football fans, if you want no more distasteful 2-down football stops in the red zone and no more boring, predictable, non-eventful, easy chip shot field goals in the red zone, chant in the red zone loud. It says chant loud in the red zone. We want Spider CFL Red Zone rule. We want Spider CFL Red Zone rule. There's the field diagram, a shrink down version of it at the bottom of the banner, but it's pretty impressive. But it would have been nice to have that banner floating around. It would have been nice to have more brochures. I was hoping to get, I should have had 250 made. I had 100, and I didn't even give out that many because I wanted to give them to CFL fans, but I wanted also to give them to players who met Sinopoli. I got him one. He was like excited about it, and he was going to tell all his Ottawa Red Black fans and all CFL, players and other CFL players about it. But I wish I could have got to more players. I didn't see any more players there. But Bo Levi Mitchell, okay, wow, getting it to him was unbelievable. Like I said, my highlight. But I wish I would have got it to the TSN panel, like Henry Burris, Dunnigan. Okay, come on, like imagine that. Mr. Steele, Mick Steele, imagine him a bomber. What he did as a bomber, one of the greatest receivers, or the greatest receiver. Stiegel in the CFL. I wanted to get to him so bad. I wanted to get Glenn Souther. Jamie and I already knows about it. Mr. Vanstone. I didn't see him. I wanted to get to Mr. Nielsen. I wanted to get to Mr. Taylor, who knows about it. Wished me a lot of, really well with my CFL Red Zone rule. Mr. Vanstone, okay, from the Leader Post from Saskatchewan in Regina, said he was hoping. He thought this would be, adopted. He really did. He says it'd be a lot better than 12-yard field goals. You want to believe it would be. And Mr. Bo Levi Mitchell, can you imagine what it would do? Okay, the two biggest killers and the two biggest turnovers of CFL 3-down game will be gone. Can you imagine that? Can you imagine? All the boring, distasteful 2-down football stops in the red zone completely gone with my CFL Red Zone rule. And also, that what results in more easy chip shot field goals in the red zone or slightly outside the red zone, depending on where the second down stop is made in the red zone. Completely gone. The two biggest killers, two biggest turnovers of a 3-down game, because a 2-and-out is really bad in the CFL, and there are quite a few in the Grey Cup, and a lot in the Western semifinal as well. But they would be reduced a lot too, because CFL teams, Bo Levi Mitchell, like Bo, be wanting to throw the ball downfield to get in the red zone to play exciting 3-down football with Spider CFL Red Zone rule to score touchdowns in the red zone. And near the red zone, they'd be going for it more on 3rd down because of my Spider CFL Red Zone rule. So it would reduce 2-and-outs and completely eliminate 2nd down stops in the red zone, and completely eliminate the monotonous, predictable, non-eventful, easy chip shot field goals that is a real killer of a CFL 3-down game. And the two biggest turnoffs of our CFL 3-down game completely gone with my Spider CFL Red Zone rule. So, it's very easy to understand. It's very easy to understand my CFL Red Zone rule, and maybe I could explain it better to Rick Howe, but I was limited to a few minutes, and then he'll cut you off. But I got it out there. But the two Bomber fans I met at the pub just before I went over to the Grey Cup 107th Grey Cup game at McMahon Stadium, the Bombers and the Ticats. The two Bomber fans, this pub right near the McMahon Stadium, were so blown away. I gave them both a brochure, and when I came back, when I ate my food to go out, they checked it out, and they were sold on it big time. And they said, "How do you?" He said, You know what they said to me? Two younger generation sports fans too. You know what they said to me, Bo Levi Mitchell? They said, "Spider, how do you get Spider CFL Red Zone rule out there? How do you get it out there? How do you get your Spider CFL Red Zone rule out there?" CFL fans need to know about this. NFL only fans that only watch the NFL and can need to know about my Spider CFL Red Zone rule. All sports fans in general need to know about my Spider CFL Red Zone rule. And if it's adopted, wisely adopted, now they're talking about it, like I said, when I called in the Rick Howe show, the CFL are putting together an innovation committee. So it's no excuse now why my CFL Red Zone rule shouldn't be tried in a CFL Red Zone rule. Tried in CFL preseason game. It needs to be, and what I have to find a way to get it out there. I wish I would have had 200 some vote brochures to give out, and I wish at Randy and Rosie's address to the fans, by the way, and one fan says, I guess you don't care about us because you don't want, you didn't even care to do this. I mean, she confronted him with it. I couldn't believe it, but I don't want to run down Randy and Rosie. I said enough about how I feel about him, but there was a lot of negativity about him, and they're not very sold on him, even Bomber fans. So I don't know what's going to happen there. The 2.0 is going to get worse. His 2.0, they're bringing in more global players. And if they start, they're going to take away American players, not Canadian starter guaranteed ratio spots. So it's going to be a problem. And Mr. Raymond, Keon Raymond's going to run. He would be a much better because he wouldn't be as political and as right now keeping is and Ramsey, who are guaranteed, they were guaranteed Canadian racial alignment. So I hope Raymond wins the president of the Canadian Players Association, because I think he'd be a lot more fair, you know, and maybe we'll see some changes that are necessary to make our CFL 3-down game a lot better, allowing the best available players to start and play in the CFL, and with SPYDER CFL Red Zone rule made part of our CFL 3-down game, which would be SPYDER's combo. You need SPYDER's combo, okay? So I hope SPYDER CFL Red Zone rule